Hello all and welcome to our daily news show, The Big Story, where we talk about the hottest topics of today right in the heart of the newsroom. I'm Kimberly Jiao, coming to you live from the Straits Times, and we are streaming on Facebook and YouTube, so if you are watching us on YouTube, do remember to subscribe to our channel. I'll be joined by my newsroom colleagues soon to discuss the topics that got you talking today. Our first story, haze that has blanketed parts of Malaysia and forced the closure of schools came from forest fires in that country and not from Indonesia, said the government in Jakarta on Wednesday, September 11th. Here to discuss this with us is Indonesia correspondent Asyiqin. Hello.
Hi.
Right, so let's talk a little bit about the haze situation in Malaysia. How bad is it?
So here in Singapore, we may have been seeing grey skies, but our 24-hour PSI level is still in a moderate range. But if you actually look across the causeway to Malaysia, air quality has worsened dramatically this past week. So not only have 8 out of 13 Malaysian states been blanketed in haze, but air quality has actually fallen to unhealthy levels. For instance, in Rumpin Pahang, air quality levels there are now at very unhealthy levels. So schools around Malaysia have been shuttered. Netizens are complaining about breathing difficulties, about teary eyes, about rashes, and it's a pretty grim situation. And this is actually expected to continue. So there are fears that things will only get worse because the dry weather will persist in Kalimantan and Sumatra, where there are very persistent hotspots.
Oh gosh. So if you can scale back to the story, right? What exactly prompted this response from Indonesia?
So it mostly started last Friday. That was when Malaysia said that it was planning to send a diplomatic note to Indonesia to call for more action against fires. So Malaysia's Deputy Environment Minister actually said that cross-border haze was the main cause of smog in Malaysia. And this prompted Jakarta to reply and say that, oh, Jakarta is not the only one at fault when it comes to haze in the region. So according to the Indonesian government, what they were saying was that satellite data over the past week had shown like an increase in hotspots around ASEAN. So this meant not only in Indonesia, this also meant in the Malaysian Peninsula, in many parts of Vietnam as well. So their point was that if there's any haze in Malaysia, it's actually from forest fires in Malaysia. So it even reached the level where Indonesia's Environment Minister, Siti Nurbaya came out to say that Malaysia has to be more objective when it explains the haze. And there was an accusation that maybe Malaysia wasn't being exactly open or honest about forest fires in the country itself. So she said she would be writing a letter to, if I'm not wrong, the Malaysian ambassador to help correct their data.
Oh, okay. So Malaysia seems to be, standing their ground. So how do you think this is going to unfold from here on?
Yeah, so right now, actually, there's still a bit of back and forth going on. So I think the latest development was Malaysia's Environment Minister, Yeo Bee In. She responded to her Indonesian counterpart by saying that data clearly shows that Indonesia is responsible for the fires and you shouldn't be pushing the blame to Malaysia. So she went so far as to say that, oh, Miss Siti Nurbaya, you shouldn't be living in denial.
Oh.
Yeah, so the haze has actually always been a prickly issue in the region, and over the years there's been many instances where there's been a bit of tension between neighbours over it. But what I'm hoping is that we don't see the same level of hostility that we saw in 2015. That was when haze was at a crisis level all around ASEAN. Like, it was even worse than it is right now lah. So if you recall correctly, that year was the year that Indonesian Vice President Yusuf Kala actually hit out at neighbouring countries for complaining about haze.
Oh.
Yeah, so he said, oh, for 11 months of the year, all of you get nice air from Indonesia and you never thank us. And for the 1 month that you are suffering from haze, you complain and are upset. So that year, then President, I think Pak Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono actually had to come in later and apologise for the haze. Yeah. So I hope this time around that things won't escalate that badly. The Malaysian ambassador has already clarified that the diplomatic note they are sending to Indonesia is not a protest letter. So it's more of an offer of help.
Okay.
So far I'm optimistic. And I think that it'll be good if us neighbours can work together, not only to maybe keep fires under control, but also to keep tensions and tempers under control. That'd be most important right now.
Right. I mean, the haze has always been a contentious issue for this region. So here's to hoping that all of them work together and keep their cool and keep it civil. Well, thanks for sharing more with us. And if you'd like to keep up with this story as it develops, do stay tuned to our website. That's www.straitstimes.com.